So in this segment, we're going to be talking about the Express not understanding English and taking Guy Verhofstadt's comments not even out of context, just completely misstating them. It's just really embarrassing from the Express, to be honest. This is probably the lowest the Express can go. So Brexit was a loss. That's literally his comment. And the Express are saying, "Oh, Verhofstadt admits EU's desperation for UK to rejoin bloc," when he really didn't. He admits Brexit was a loss for everyone. MEPs, as MEP admits the bloc is desperate for the UK to rejoin. But I've looked through all of his quotes that they've listed in the article. There was no desperation here. There was no hint of desperation because realistically, I'm sure there are a lot of MEPs who want us to rejoin the EU, that see us part of the European project. But the simple fact is, I don't think they're that bothered. MEP Guy Verhofstadt has argued that Brexit was a loss for everybody, which is true. More so for the UK than the EU, but still a loss. As the former Belgian Prime Minister, didn't know he was the Belgian Prime Minister, declared that the UK and European Union would have been stronger together today, which is partially true, but I wouldn't be surprised if the UK did try to lessen certain EU sanctions, given how slow we have been to implement sanctions ourselves. But that slowness of sanctions has been admitted to be due to the fact that we don't have the same bandwidth, access to lawyers and other experts in order to drop sanctions, drop the hammer on these oligarchs. So two different ways you can kind of interpret it there. The most pressure that we've put, ironically, on the EU is stuff we don't have control over, things like SWIFT. So Mr. Hofstadt told LBC Brexit could have been totally different if at a certain moment Labour and the Conservatives were ready to cooperate and to find a new way out of Brexit, which he's kind of right on. The problem is that we had David Cameron, a wet fish, against Jeremy Corbyn, who doesn't really believe in the EU as a project. He was a Brexiteer. He did kind of change his stance, but he wasn't, he didn't really advocate for the EU, if that makes sense, because I think in his heart of hearts he was a Brexiteer and believed in, things like state aid and thought the EU would get in the way of certain state aid things. So going back to Mr. Hofstadt, Brexit could have been different, more in the sense of an association agreement, Norwegian style, for example. So he's talking about how there could have been a softer Brexit. A Norwegian style, for example, than the cold Brexit we have now. And I'm still continuing to think that in a world as we see today, with the aggression of Russia, wouldn't have been stronger today if the UK was part of the EU. That I'm pretty sure. I don't think the Russian aggression would have changed if Brexit didn't happen. I don't agree with that at all. Vlad's surrounded by a load of yes men who would have told him, yeah, you can invade the Americans if you want, invade the USA if you want. Brexit was a loss for everybody, for Britain and also for the EU. But okay, we never know what will happen in the future. It says Nike in the future. I'm assuming maybe he said like in the future. I don't know. It's really weird that they throw Nike in there. But again, I'm going to ask you, do you see any desperation in any of his comments? He added, there will be, in my opinion, a generation of young politicians in the UK will say, look, let's work together, let's enter in the European Union, let's change the European Union for the better, which, I agree with. I think, especially given that younger people predominantly voted to remain, I do agree with this statement there. Mr. Ferrari replied, so part of Renew Europe would be for the United Kingdom to renew its membership of the European Union. He says, exactly, yeah, that's I can tell you, I think 90% of the European Parliament and the European politicians would like that, replied the MEP. So essentially he's saying, around 90%, I doubt he's got any polling data, but maybe from the majority of people he's spoken to or whatever, he's an intelligent dude. So around 90% of the European Parliament and politicians would like that, the UK to rejoin the EU. But again, it's up to the EU if they want us to rejoin. Any member state can stop us joining. And, they want the UK to change really before we do. But again, there's no desperation there. He said they would like for, the UK to rejoin. Nothing desperate here. He then talks about an EU army, and this rest of this is about an EU army and NATO and all that stuff. So you can pause the video here if you want to read this, but it wasn't really relevant. I tried to find more on this stuff. Again, more stuff on NATO, more stuff on military, things like that. And then you've got the Express comments on, oh, the EU are just desperate for our money, me. Despite the fact that, the HMRC system actually costs more than the HMRC import system for, EU goods actually costs way more than our EU membership, which is wild. But, the Express, I don't know what I'm going to title this, but the Express kind of misstating his comments completely. Should I label this as the Express doesn't understand English? I don't know. But anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.